Eargrind Radio, rooted to the ground, blood to the ear. Earground. Eargrind Radio plays the music first. Earground.
Sawira wepecho Aiwa Chico Chandai Ziva Maiwe Kani Nagange Nagarashi Kwaso Uvebanewe The cheats in the wango Wangu Uyo Ekuseganae Izombodo Usaziva Waito nisetera musungo Jino nakukuziva Uribuku murizo Iye muno Aunga mukone Paviva choko Pacha kuburira pachena Usive Iye muno Aunga musire Kukusegere Ungeane katuriba Japambezana Kusaziva Kutindini Daizonyura Nasiwe Wadere watovengano Unu wako Chimbiro chako kubaizana Ingava mweva nenda kugereke wadi Wanguwe Dona Shiri kure kwa uri Plays the music first. Earground.
Okay. Welcome to Earground. My name is Claude Marco, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be live again. And from time to time, we're speaking to artists that are working in and out of Zimbabwe. And today we have the honor of having an artist that I regard as a legend. He has traversed the world as a dancer, as a choreographer for so many years. And now he's charting a new path as a musician. We're going to be hearing more about that, how he managed to cross from one end of the art to another end. And drummer introducing none other than MATHIAS Julius, aka MATTY, an artist who's based in UK and has been working in so many different countries, and today we'll be speaking to him. So Nara, greetings and thank you so much for taking the time to be on Earground.
Thank you for having me. Wakadi plot and how are you, Zimbabwe?
Great, great. No, and I'm good. You grew up in Tafara. And
Yes.
Yes, Kugeto. And take us through your childhood. You know, some of the memories, the experiences that you had as a kid.
Yeah, I grew up in Tafara. They always call it Tafara Mavuku for some reason. But
Yes.
they're sort of two different areas. If you were Mono Tafara, you wouldn't really hang out with Mavuku because, you know, they was always...
For real?
You know what I mean? So I grew up in Tafara. I went to school in... I started school in 1982, and then I finished my O level in 1992. In 1992, my friend Baren Tawaziwa called me up and said, you know, dude, do you want to try dance? At that time, I used to play basketball. So, you know, like ballet dance was like looked at upon as something that's like slow and, you know, some funny thing. I wasn't really keen until I went to the youth group, which was being held at the girls' high school every Saturday.
Okay.
I joined the youth group for 8 months, did dancing every week for 8 months, and then I moved on to National Ballet of Zimbabwe, where Tumbuka had already been formed. They'd already been a dance group for about 2 years, and I joined in with no training whatsoever. Wow. And I just my way into Tumbuka, and that took me about 2.5 years. So in 1995, I managed to be an apprentice in Tumbuka. So the Tumbuka guys had training. I never had any training, so I had to work those 2 years to look like them. And in 1995 August, I became a Tumbuka dancer.
You grew up in Tafara, and this is a community where the likes of Mekia, Yamaguchi were coming from. But contemporary dance, even up to date in Zimbabwe, is not something that is very common. It's not very popular. But you decided to take that path. What was going on in your mind? What sort of motivated you besides knowing someone was already dancing?
I'll tell you what the motivation was. When Tumbuka guys went out of the country, they traveled overseas. They came back looking good, you know, wearing Nike shoes, Nike jackets, Nike sweaters. You know, those were the days where we had those soft, like woolen sweaters that looked good. Those guys look good. I want to be part of that group. I want to be able to wear that stuff. I want to be able to look like, you know, one of these guys. So I thought to myself, you know, that was my motivation. I want to be at that level. And when I joined Tumbuka, it was more like I wanted to be part of them and then become one of the best dancers in the company, which was a really a good thing, because it was more like a healthy competition amongst the dancers. But as you said, you know, going back to Tafara Mavuku, we were called the Tafara Mavuku Hollywood. We had John Mekia, what's his name, Parafini.
Yes.
What's his name, Gringo.
Gringo, yes.
and Ben Sibenge, who was my headmaster in primary school. Yeah.
Wow. And now that you joined Tumbuka, what was the experience like? You worked with Navy Campbell, and you guys toured the world. You were almost in every country that is known, and you made Zimbabwe proud. You raised the Zimbabwean flag very high, to a point that up to now, I don't know if our generation is going to get to that level. What are some of the greatest memories that you have from working with Tumbuka?
Yeah, first of all, I would say, you know, I remember when we used to perform at 7 Arts.
Yes.
That theater, as soon as they announced that Tumbuka is performing, that morning, by the afternoon, the tickets were sold out. I remember performing at 7 Arts, and then we had to let people sit in the aisles. That's how popular it was in Zimbabwe at that time. And we brought something different to Zimbabwe, because most of the dances that were there at that time, it was traditional dance, and Borodale dance. Hip hop wasn't really back at that time. It only came back a little bit later. So my best memories with Tumbuka is we traveled the world, and each time we went out, we knew that the paper Herald or Newsday wasn't there at that time, so Herald always would mention that we've gone out of the country, where we're going, and when we were coming back, whenever we came back in the country, they would announce that the company is back, which made us feel proud of being out there representing Zimbabwe. And the most important thing for me dancing in Zimbabwe until I left Zimbabwe was I always went out there to represent Zimbabwe. Our dance company was it was a contemporary dance, but you'd see most of the music that we used was mainly, some of the music was Zimbabwean. We did a lot of dances on Oliver Mtuku's music, and different things like that. A lot of music from the West as well. We talked a lot about our problems in Africa as a dance company. So meeting a lot of different people on tour, and a lot of learning different cultures as well in Tumbuka, and it's amazing that I learned a lot on tour.
Wow. What would say is the biggest legacy left by Tumbuka?
The introduction to contemporary dance. And I know that, there is, from the time Tumbuka was formed up to now, there is people that are still trying, they're still doing contemporary dance. I know there's some small groups that are still doing contemporary dance, and most of them have traveled out of Zimbabwe. Now some guys are in China. A lot of our dance students are in Norway, because there was a program that Tumbuka was running as a foundation course that led people to go to different countries to study. So I would say, Tumbuka's legacy is introducing contemporary dance company, winning awards in South Africa, in Rwanda as an African dance company.
Wow. And what before we cross over to your music, what do you miss the most about Tumbuka?
I miss being on stage, performing, being a soloist on stage, dancing by myself, being watched by like 5,000 people.
Great.
It's sort of the end of my career. I used to do a solo called One Love. It was the poem was by Lindsey Johnson, and talked about righteousness. And I used to perform that solo, and it's one of the solos that I miss performing.
Great, awesome. I think we would need one day to have a conversation more around dance in Zimbabwe, and it would be quite interesting to actually get your perspective and to get your input, because I feel the next generation and the current generation need to learn a lot from what you guys did and what you had.
Yeah, can I just add on to that? I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. We have people that are still pushing dance in Zimbabwe. I'm amazed. You probably would know Michelle Nativille.
Nativille.
Yeah, she's still like pushing hip hop and dance in Zimbabwe. And I think Melanie Carruthers with the
Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem Studios still happening, and Shamiso Arts as well. I think they're still going in Bari with Brian Geza.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the fact that people haven't stopped pushing the love of dance, and because we sort of retired, and you look back and you see people are still doing it, and you really appreciate it. And I know dance has changed a lot from what I used to do and what it is today. It has developed a lot as well, which is amazing.
Great. And now switching over from dance, when you retired from mainstream dance, you moved over to music. How easy or how difficult was it for you to make that kind of transition?
To be honest, when I still danced, I left Zimbabwe in 2012. But from 2006 up to 2012, I was doing both. So from 2005, I was just like recording in the background, just doing small bits, a bit of music here and there.
Yes.
And I released my first album in 2009, but I still danced. So the thing is that whenever I danced, I'll take that money and use it onto the music side. And I had a band. Yeah, I had a band in Zimbabwe, which I performed with for 3 years. So during that time, it was more like going to the studio, do rehearsals for dance, perform, get paid, go to the music, then perform. So that transition, it was quite easy because, you know, I sort of my confidence from my dancing background. So transforming to music sort of was not that hard to like sort of put myself out there. But you know what it is? It's like when you're putting out music, it's tough because people will be saying, "Oh, he was okay in his dancing,"
as a dancer,
and then they start sort of like comparing the two and say, you should stick to your dancing. But I maybe got away with it somehow. So
great. But had you always been like into music and specifically reggae? Like, was it something that you always had a passion for, or you developed along the way?
I always had a passion. You know, we used to watch. You know, I used to watch a lot of. We used to watch a lot of Michael Jackson. You know, just enjoy music, and I was a fan of Oliver Mtukudzi right from the time that I started. You know, hearing music in my ears. But Oliver Mtukudzi, may his soul rest in peace. I mean, he was one of the people that I was like that I idolized, and I enjoyed that. And I thought to myself, I was like, I want to be able to do a song. It'll be amazing if I could sing and be able to do a track with this man.
Wow, great.
And I was
Wow, and so far, I've seen you've done so many live shows. I attended one of your show at the Book Cafe. Said that the center is now closed, but it's one place where I knew I would go to just experience reggae music, mbira music, and all sort of art forms. What bodies of work have you released up to date? Do you have albums? Have you released singles? I know you have a couple of videos. How much content have you released musically?
In 2009, I've got 4 albums up to date. The first one was in 2009. Second one, the first one was called what was it called? I can't remember. But the second one the second one was in 2011, and the third one was 2013. The fourth one 2014. But in between, I released a single, which was what's that Adele song?
Yes.
Yeah, I did someone like
it
in
went
reggae.
viral.
And then I released between 2014 and 2015. I released the single, but it was a cover, so I couldn't sell it. I just put it as just a track. All of Me by John Legend.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 tracks that I released in between the 2 singles. So I've got 4 albums and 2 singles.
And then you dropped one video. There's one video that's beautiful. I'm trying to remember the name of the track. The one that features Noni.
That features who?
Noni. The music video.
Yes, that's called Mood. It's a song about friendship. I had an experience with a friend that I thought he was a really good friend.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the way that it behaved wasn't friendly at all. So there's a really deep meaning to that song for me. And I did that song in a way where I felt like, I need to say something about this.
Great. And now, based in the diaspora, do you feel connected to Zimbabwe that much, or you feel a bit of a disconnection?
I can say 85% I still feel connected to Zimbabwe because I always make a point that I come home every year, and whenever I get a chance to perform, I always take a chance and perform back at home. So I'm always like posting stuff on Facebook. If I release music, I release music, but I do miss performing live with a live band like I used to when I was back at home. It's quite difficult here in the UK to put up a band together because we might want people that can play our local Zimbabwean music. Yes, you can pull up a band that can play any instrument, but they can't play the vibe that you get from home. So people like that, you find one in Manchester, another person in Northampton, or so to bring them together is quite tough.
Great. And now Zimdanso has for some years now been like really the most dominant genre, and it's connected to reggae. Zimbabwe is a reggae country. But do you feel reggae is really like is appreciated well in Zimbabwe?
You know what? I big up all the dancehall artists. They doing their thing, and they are really good at it. And if you had asked me this question about 5 years ago, I would have been against it because there was a lot of violence which was associated with, and I hated the fact that these guys were actually fighting stage, throwing cans and this and that, which was really bad. Yes, I know that Jamaica vane vibe rawo ravanoita, we are not Jamaicans, we're Zimbabweans. So if we're copying a genre of music or we're doing a genre of music, let's not take the bad part of that particular genre and use it. It felt like more like a gangster type vibe, but it completely changed now to them sending a message. They're talking about real stuff. Back in that time, 5 years ago, it was more like dinin.
Yes.
And then now it's more like they're talking about life issues, righteousness, and all the good things. And now I really appreciate the dancehall musicians, and they're taking their time to do their stuff. I'm sure during this time of COVID-19, people are writing stuff with the indoors. They are making music. So to be honest, I can say reggae will stay forever, despite the fact that it goes up and down and quiet. And the things, if I write music, if I write an album, my album probably will be listened to in the next 15, 20 years, because I'm not talking about what's happening today and then tomorrow, people forget about it.
Yes.
So with reggae, if you listen to Bob Marley music today,
it still sounds fresh, relevant.
Yeah, even when I just or next year or 10 years later, if they listen to Bob Marley music, they will be able to know who Bob Marley is and was. So that's the difference between dancehall and reggae. But reggae will stay forever.
Great. And now, what are we expecting from you? What are you working on currently?
Currently, I am working on a new album. I'm focusing more doing a few collaborations because nowadays, the handwriting, if you know what I mean. So I'm looking at doing more collabos with different artists. I collaborated before Tanda. I've collaborated with Innocent Masamba, who's a hip hop. You must know this kid, Innocent Masamba, Killer Flow.
Where's Killer Flow now?
I think he's around. He sent me a message recently, and he's there. He's making music. I think he's now producing for an advertising company.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. And I've collaborated with a group called Big Stock Royce System from Denmark. Collaborated with a Danish artist as well with on a song called Don't Look Back, which is online. I've collaborated with the late Oliver Mtugudzi on a song called 2010, which was a dedication to his late son at that time in 2010. We called it 2010. It's online. It's on Spotify. You can check it out. Yeah. Wow. So in the meantime, I'm working on an album which probably will be coming out at the end of the year, because now with all these problems, you never know what happens.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about these problems, how are you coping with coronavirus?
Right at this point in time, I've been sitting at home for about 2.5 weeks. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I worked. But most of my work, because I'm working in the entertainment industry, that was the first thing that just got shut down because they don't want gather into big groups. So if I look at my work, it's probably going to be getting back to normal maybe August. If they don't change, I've got no idea what's going to happen.
How it's going to happen. And wow, yeah, that must really be hard. Also for us, I'm also, heavily affected, and now we've had to work from home. But 5 years from now, where do we see Matty?
5 years from now, I'll still be around. Probably, I don't know. I might be in a different country at that point. I might be still here, but I'll always be home every time. Between now and 5 years.
Okay, great. And any dream collaboration, and who would that artist be?
I would like to do a collab with a guy called Caleb.
A guy called?
Caleb.
Caleb, Ras Caleb.
I know it's Ras Caleb. Yes. He's got a unique voice. I love that voice. I'll see if there's a way to connect with him, and I'd love to do a collaboration with Ras Caleb. And who else? I've sort of did something with what's his name? Man, what's his name? Sorry, I forgot his name.
Okay.
But I'll text you when I remember his name.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've got. I'm welcoming anybody who wants to collaborate. If they like what I do, they can go online and check what I do. If they send me, if I like what they do, we can do collaborations. I've got a studio right behind me where I can just get it in and record. So anyone is welcome, and I'm happy to collaborate with different people.
Great. And talking about collaborations, connections, how do people connect with you? Your social handles, email.
You can find me on Facebook. Just MATHIAS Julius or MATHIAS MATTY Julius. I've got 2 pages. One page is the artist page, and the other page is my personal page. So you can find me on both. I'm on Reverb Nation. I'm also on not really. I don't really use Skype a lot, but you can find me on under it's MATHIAS.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been really great. I wanted to ask more and more stuff, but I think we'll definitely do a follow-up once your new album drops later this year, as you have said. But before we go, I think our listeners, our viewers would want to get a snippet from you of either something that you've done before or something that you're cooking. I don't know, whatever that you're comfortable with for a minute.
Okay. I'll do the mono song a cappella.
Okay, great.
Okay. Pekutanga ndakati ndawana wangu muvakidzani sawira wepedyo aiwa chiko chandaiziva mai wekani ndakange ndakarashika kwazvo uvimba newe ndichiti ndawana wangu we uyo wekuseka naye izvobodo kusaziva ndaitokusumura musungo zvino ndakukuziva uri bungu muridzo iye munhu haungamugonde papi pacho pachakubudira pachena kuti uzive yaye.
Blessed. Thank you so much, Elder MATHIAS Julius. It's been an honor to have you on this program, and I am super blessed because for me, you're one person who inspired me. Watching you guys perform made me start thinking of starting a dance organization, made me want to get into the arts. So your inspiration, I know there's so many other people that might not have said, but I'm one of the people that you inspired. And I'm very much humbled to actually have had an opportunity to speak to you. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zimbabwe, and thank you so much, Plot, for having me on your platform. I'd like to say to Zimbabweans, please stay at home. This is not a joke. This virus is deadly. It is lethal. If the UK people cannot, cannot sort it out, back at home we don't have the facilities to cure it or to avoid it. So the best we can do is stay at home. I can say here in the UK, at least 3,000 almost people have died already. So please stay at home.
Wow. With that message from Matty, Matthias Julius, he says, please stay at home. This is the best way that we can fight this virus, by isolating ourselves and creating social distance amongst ourselves. And yeah, thank you so much. Stay safe to everybody. And until next time, your voices amplified. This from Ear Ground. My name is Plot Marco, and I'm out.